Tonight, our special transmission, as on the International Women's Day, Palestinian women face death, hunger, displacement, and threats of sexual violence. Assalamu alaikum and good evening. This is Muslim News Canada on Muslim Network TV. I'm Zahra Sayed. Today is the 153rd day since Israel started its indiscriminate war against Palestinians. Despite global outcry for a ceasefire and assurances for humanitarian aid, Israel continues to bomb Palestinian civilians incessantly. Palestinian Health Ministry reports in the past 24 hours, Israeli strikes have killed 78 Palestinians. 104 have been wounded. Israel continues to block aid trucks on checkpoints. In the State of Union speech, President Joe Biden has pledged to construct a temporary pier off Gaza's coast to facilitate aid delivery. The decision comes as Biden's government is facing a severe backlash for its support for Israel's war. Critics label the plan as unrealistic. They say the move will not address Gaza's hunger crisis. International entities, including the European Union, the US, and the UK, say they will open a maritime corridor for humanitarian assistance. Palestinian politician Mustafa Barghouti says the corridor is another effort to divert attention from the real issue of famine in Gaza. He says the real issue is Israel not allowing aid into Gaza. He says airdropping food has not helped the Palestinians. Media reports show 5 people have been killed in Gaza on Friday. The incident occurred after huge boxes of aid dropped from a U.S. plane fell on their heads. Israeli forces are allegedly assaulting worshippers in Jerusalem's Old City, leading to arrests and clashes. In retaliation, the Al-Aqsa Martyrs Brigade says they have attacked Israeli soldiers near the Beit Hanun crossing in Gaza. The death toll from Israel's war on Palestine continues to rise. At the time of writing, 30,878 Palestinians have been killed in Israeli attacks. Another 8,000 are presumed dead under the rubble. At least 20 Palestinians have died due to starvation. 72,402 are injured. Israel's revised death toll from Hamas's attack stands at 1,139. Palestinian Prime Minister Mohammed Shtayyeh says as the world celebrates International Women's Day, Palestinian women are going through their most difficult times. He is urging the world to recognize the plight of thousands of Palestinian women who have been killed, injured, or displaced. The Palestinian Media Office reports 8,900 women have been killed by Israeli aggression in the past 5 months. A report by the United Nations says Palestinian women in Israeli prisons are living in inhumane conditions. The report says Palestinian women and girls in detention are stripped naked and searched by male Israeli army officers. At least 2 female Palestinian detainees have been raped. Others have been reportedly threatened with rape and sexual violence. They're denied food, medicine, and menstruation pads. They are also severely beaten. The report says at least on one occasion, the Palestinian women detained were kept in a cage in the rain and the cold. Shtayyeh says Palestinian women must have freedom, dignity, and security in their everyday lives. The United Nations is calling for a prompt investigation following reports of Israeli soldiers publicly displaying lingerie of Palestinian women. A spokesperson for Secretary General Antonio Guterres says there are video clips on social media showing Israeli soldiers flaunting undergarments of Palestinian women. He is calling these clips very concerning. He says Israeli officials should launch an immediate investigation. A spokesperson of Israeli kibbutz has refuted allegations of sexual assault committed against women during Hamas's attack on October 7th last year. Mitchell Paikin, the spokesperson for Kibbutz Be'eri, says women and girls were shot, but not sexually abused. The news comes as some media outlets claim that Israeli women had been subject to sexual violence and abuse. A New York Times article also makes similar allegations. Another article in Times titled "Screams Without Words" cites an unnamed Israeli paramedic's testimony. According to the testimony, 2 teenage girls faced sexual abuse. The girls belong to the Sharabi family. The family disputes the claims. However, a recent report by the UN Special Envoy for Sexual Violence, Pramila Patten, says there is evidence of sexual violence during the attack. The report does not confirm its occurrence in kibbutz Be'eri. On the other hand, independent experts have confirmed sexual assaults on Palestinian female detainees in Israeli custody. These experts are part of the UN's fact-finding and monitoring mechanisms of the Human Rights Council. They also say Israeli soldiers are circulating degrading images of Palestinian detainees. Chile has announced the exclusion of Israeli companies from this year's International Air and Space Fair. The fair is organized by the Chilean Air Force. It is a key aerospace event in Latin America. More than 40 nations will be participating in the fair. Chilean Defense Minister Maya Fernandez has confirmed the decision. The Palestinian community of Chile has thanked Chilean President Gabriel Boric for the decision. They say the move aligns with principles of justice and human rights. Chilean's foreign ministry has also reiterated calls for an immediate ceasefire and recognition of Palestine as a UN member. President Boric's government has strongly condemned Israel's actions in Gaza. It calls them collective punishment and systematic violations of international law. Chile is urging Israel to end these violations and provide reparations. Toronto police have arrested several people yesterday, protesting against a real estate event promoting properties in the occupied West Bank. The event, named the Great Israeli Real Estate Event, was held in a synagogue in Toronto. The website promoting the properties shows listings in the occupied West Bank. The event has drawn severe criticism. Critics decried the event as complicit in illegal land sales. They are urging the Canadian government to take action against Israeli settlements. Despite the controversy, the synagogue terms the event as an informational session. A similar real estate event was held in Montreal on Tuesday. There was a protest and a counter-protest in front of the synagogue hosting the event. And in related news, a Quebec court has issued a temporary ban on protests near several Jewish institutions in a borough in Montreal. The news comes after pro-Palestinian protesters clashed with counter-protesters in front of a synagogue in the area. The synagogue was hosting a real estate event promoting properties in the occupied West Bank. All settlements in the occupied West Bank are considered illegal under international law. The ban is effective for 10 days. It prohibits protests within 50 meters of specific buildings, including the Federation CJA and the Spanish and Portuguese synagogue. The injunction also covers other institutions like the Cummings Center and the Herzliya High School. The court order has been served to various groups. The Montreal police have been authorized to enforce the injunction. A 19-year-old Sri Lankan has been charged with killing 6 people in a distressing murder spree in Ottawa, Ontario. Canadian authorities labeled the deaths of a Sri Lankan family as mass killing. The victims were newcomers to Canada. The victims include a 35-year-old mother, her 4 children, and an acquaintance. The youngest child was less than 3 months old. The father sustained injuries and was hospitalized. The suspect is identified as Fabrício de Souza. The suspect was living with the family. He faces 6 counts of first-degree murder. Police say an edged weapon was used in the attack. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau and Ottawa's mayor have offered condolences. The motive for the crime is not known. Thank you for watching. Our news is produced by Muslim Network TV, which is a not-for-profit organization. We need your support for donations. Please scan the QR code on our broadcast or visit muslimnetwork.tv to donate now, so we can continue to amplify the voices of Muslims in Canada and abroad. Assalamu alaikum.